Today we will be switching up a little bit. Let's talk about budgeting for travel. Hey, how's it going guys? Will here. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here and you want to learn about personal financing and also career and a little bit of travel content, feel free to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you do not miss any new content. Which, by the way, I post new videos every Saturday, so just to put it out there for you guys, my subscribers, so you can expect a new video every single Saturday. So like I said in the intro, let's switch things up a little bit. Let's not talk about career or any depressing personal financing topics. Let's talk about travel. Travel is one of my favorite things to do. But if you are the person like me who does most of the planning and thinking and researching, you will know that this process is extremely frustrating and very time consuming. So this video is catered for you who likes to go on a travel free and easy style. If you are the type that likes to go for tours, this is definitely not the video for you. So let's begin. Traveling has many variants depending on the style that you like to travel. Are you the backpacker type? Are you the luxury type? Or you are the budget type like me or everyone else? So the first thing to budget for your next travel is not money, but time and date. Set a preferred flexible date that you would like to travel. If you are extremely flexible and you can travel at any month of the entire year, you would find that you would save a lot more money than the people who has a set amount of time or a set date to travel. For example, it has been known in many research that traveling or flying on a weekend costs more money than traveling during the weekdays. So ideally, knowing this fact, you would want to depart for your travel on a weekday, let's say like Wednesday or Thursday, and also fly back home on a weekday as well. So this flexibility allows you to manage the amount of money or the budget that you can spend on your travel. After you have picked a date, research on the cost of living of the country that you're going to. In this map that I'm showing you here, you can see that there are many colors in the map, and each color signifies a different cost of living. So for Malaysia, we are located towards the right end, which is the cheaper side or the lower cost of living, compared to the countries that are on the red end, which cost a lot more. So knowing this, let's say you want to travel somewhere that has the same or a lower cost of living than our country, you can expect yourself to pay a similar price in Ringgit Malaysia for anything that you try to budget on. So for hotels, if let's say your budget is 150 ringgit, you are expected to be able to find an accommodation equivalent to 150 ringgit. But moving up the cost of living to those zones closer to red like yellow, orange, these are the countries that you should pay attention because the budget and the margin will fluctuate extremely widely. Let's take Australia for example. In this map, Australia is red in color, which is definitely on the high side of the cost of living. For me, when I travel to any place with this kind of cost of living, I would usually switch things up and budget the trip using USD. So these countries on the orange and the red zone has quite a similar salary that the employees take home. So for example, let's say if you are working in the US and you earn around $3,000 a month, you can also expect the same for these countries in red color like Australia and Japan. Your take-home salary will also be around $3,000 US. or slightly lower than that. So it is more preferred that you try to budget for high cost of living countries using USD. But this is completely up to you. You probably would have your own style of budgeting, but this is what I use to make my budget more clear so that I would not be surprised if any deviation happens, like let's say the change in exchange rate or something like that. So after you have determined the cost of living in the country that you are traveling to, the next one would be to arrange your budget. Due to the various styles and the budget that you have for the travel, this will vary from case to case basis. But a general rule of thumb that I always use is to split your expense into 4 elements: 20, 20, 20, and 40. So the 20% ones are activities like visiting museums or any tours, special tours, or let's say you want to go skiing. This falls under activities, which is 20%. Next one will be for food. So what are you going to eat when you have arrived in your destination country? These are also allocated 20%. The next 20% will be transport. So everything from flying in and out of the country, or trains, or driving, car rental, these are all under transportations, which I would allocate another 20%. And the balance 40% is the big one, accommodation. Accommodation varies from the level of stay that you want, from a homestay to a hostel, or to a backpackers, or a hotel such as a 3-star hotel or a 5-star hotel, depending on the budget that you have. Accommodation will take up most of your budget. So once you split your trip into these 4 elements, always prioritize accommodation and transportation first. These two alone is about 60% of your travel budget. Which, by the way, when I say travel budget, it doesn't mean you have to go with this 20, 20, 20, 40 rule. Obviously, there will be some deviations that cause certain elements to exceed one another, which you have to minus out from somewhere. So it can be 25, 25, 10, and 40 or something like that within the same 4 elements, just exchanging the amount of percentage within each other. And the reason why I said you should budget for accommodation and travel first, it is because these two are the most important. That determines where you stay in that country, what time you arrive and what time you depart, and the rest of it, your activities, is planned around these 2 elements. So get yourself to work and determine your transportation, especially your flight in and out, as well as accommodation for your next trip. And never impulse buy on anything. When you want to buy air ticket, do your research carefully, and if you can, and if it makes you feel better, you can jot down the price or record it somewhere in your Excel sheet or a notebook, and jot down, let's say, a price of this flight from first week of March to middle of March to end of March or something like that, and you can see a pattern. And when you see the price drops lower than what you expect it to be, then probably that will be the good time to buy or to book that hotel. Use websites like kayak.com or Google Flights to check for your flight tickets, as well as Trivago or Agoda or Expedia for your accommodation. But that applies to hotels. If you want to look for somewhere like homestay, you can always go for Airbnb, which sometimes can be cheaper than hotel, but the location might not be as great or as central as you want it to be. Also, with these websites that I just mentioned, Some of them will have the function to alert you of any price changes. So there you go. These are the few steps that you should determine before you travel for your next destination. And this will make the planning part much easier, as you would be able to cover all the bases in order for you to budget it more accurately and more precisely. In the next video, I will be talking about how you can save your money while traveling. This will help you minimize your spending and probably make your budget a lot lower than what you want it to be. So stay tuned for that. So if you like this video about traveling and how to budget for it, feel free to leave a like on this video, as it will help my channel out greatly. Hit the subscribe and notification bell for more travel contents. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I'll be releasing videos every single Saturday, so keep your eye on that. Until the next time, I'll see you in the next one.